Okay, we are now going to learn the Sephardic Taamim. It took me a while to find this sheet that you're looking at. I made it a long time ago, and it was buried in my emails from 2009. So I'm glad I recovered it because I spent some time reorganizing the Ta'amim in the order that I saw was more fitting to learn. If you look in some Ta'amim books, they start off with a different order of Ta'amim. And I try to go from easiest to more difficult. So let's start with line 1. So all the Ta'amim have these little circles on them so you could see what the Ta'am looks like. Okay, in some Sidurim, they're going to be very small, so you're not going to be able to see them. Yeah, eventually, you'll get to know them. So this is the ideal pasuk is lines 1 and 2. The basic structure of a pasuk is lines 1 and 2, and which is ma'arich tarcha atnach. Right, that's the sound of how the ta'amim goes. Ma'arich tarcha atnach. So ma'arich is just it's like to make longer. Arich ma'arich. Tarcha goes down a little bit. Atnach is like a soft pause. Right. Then you have again after the atnach you'll have line 2. Ma'arich tarcha sof pasuk. Right, so sof pasuk is like a longer ending, and that is the the easiest ta'amim. Going down now, let me just to line 3. Kadma, right? That's on top. It's not really a ta'am. Doesn't really have much of a sound to it. It's just kadma. Then shofar mehupach. This is the little arrow, which kind of pushes you to the next word, right? It's a little sign that pushes you to the next word. Shofar mechupach kadma, right? It brings you over to the next word. Shofar mechupach kadma. Then the 2 dots on top. Zakev katon. That's it. Zakev katon. That is line 3. Very common. Zakef Katon, almost every pasuk has it. Shofar Mehupach, you have it at many pesukim. Like I said, Kadma is like just continue reading, basically. It's one of these just ta'amim. I can't explain it much better than that. Line 4, Zakef Gadol, right? This was the Zakef Katon before. This Zakef Gadol is a little bit longer. Zakef Gadol, right? Not too long. Zakef Gadol. Then you have Darga. Darga is like goes up sound. Darga, right? It's like a little spring. That's how I like to look at it. Darga. And then Tevir is this semicircle with a dot in it, right? And that's a lower sound. Tebir. Tebir. Right? So line 4 is Zakef Gadol, Darga, Tebir. Usually in Pesukim, Darga and Tebir are one after the other. They come one next to the other. Many times, 90% of the time, you'll see Darga, Tebir. One follows the other in words. Next is line 5. And make sure you pause during this video and you repeat so that you understand each line well. I didn't break this video up into 3 or 4 parts, so just pause, use your head, use your resources wisely. Right, line 5 is pazer. Right, so pazer has 2 different customs really. You have the shorter version, pazer. Pazer, and then you'll have a longer version is pazer. So really either one. I like to use the shorter one, pazer. Now the next one is tarsa. Tarsa is an upward sound, right? And you'll see that it's when it's to the left, it's like an upward type of sound. Let me just scroll this up a little bit, right? So we'll do tarsa, right? Like 3 levels. Tarsa, right? So pazir, tarsa. Then azla, gerish. Usually 95% of the time, these go to one next to the other. So azla, you'll see it looks exactly like like a kadma, right? It looks exactly like that, and it is. But when it's the next word has a gerish, so then it changes the sound. It's not a kadma anymore. It's called azla, right? And they go together. These two go together. That's why they're facing each other. This one's facing this way, this one's facing this way. And the sound is azla gerish. Again, azla gerish. Sometimes you will find in Pesukim in the Torah that it only has a gerish. There's no azla in the word before. So you just say gerish. Right? That's the single gerish. We'll get to the Shene Gerishim in the next pasuk. Line 6. Talsha is like a downward version of tarsa from line 5. This one was tarsa was tarsa. This talsha is talsha. Again, talsha goes down. Tarsa goes up. Tarsa, right? That's facing to the left, right? And the one facing to the right goes down. Sometimes you'll see it with 1. Sometimes you'll see it with 2. I'm not so familiar with exactly why it's 1 or 2, but basically we use the same sound. Talsha goes down. Now, Shene Gerishim is like a gerish, but it's longer. Shene Gerishim. This was gerish, right? Shene Gerishim. So line 6 goes Talsha Shene Gerishim. The next one is a line. It's a separation line, sort of, and that is a very abrupt stop. It goes up. Pasik, pasik, right? And I'll try to give you some examples in another video. There'll probably be a follow-up video of this, of how to use Taamim in different examples. Raviya, right, is like a diamond shape. And it goes like this. Raviya, right? It's like a long note. Raviya. So line 6 again. Talsha Shene Gerishim Pasik Raviya. Line 7. Yetiv, right? It's also an arrow, but it's different than the shofar mehupach. The shofar mehupach is at the end of the word, and so it takes you to the next word. This one, it accents the beginning of the word. Yetiv, right? You don't go into the next word. It's yetiv, it's at the beginning. You're accenting the first syllable, the first sound of that word. Tere kadmin is 2 kadmas, right? Kadma, 1 kadma is 1, just 1 kadma over here. Tere is like 2 kadmas on top, right? So that's tere kadmin. Similar to the Raviya, but shorter. Tere kadmin. And then zakif katon, that's the same thing. I don't know why it's repeated here. Because it's repeated here because they usually go together also. Terekad means zakif katon. Terekad means zakif katon. And then the last one is a zarka. Oops. Zarka is you see a little squiggly line over here. That's a zarka, and it goes like this. Zarka. Right? Or let's try again. Zarka. Right? Any type of sound like that that's kind of like goes up and down. Zarka. Shofar holech segolta. Right? So this shofar holech it doesn't really have a sound to it, just telling you to holech, to go to the next word. And segolta is always followed by a zarka. It's the completion of the zarka unit. And it's an abrupt stop. Segolta. Right? So let's do line 8. It's almost always you'll find a zarka with a shofar holech and a segolta. Many, many instances. Zarka, shofar holech, segolta. And that is the end of that. On the bottom here are some exceptions that appear 2 or 3 times in all of Tanakh. You don't really need to know them right now. Maybe I'll use them in another video for when we get to more advanced Taamim. And that is the end.